Commander Jake Morrison looked out at the stars through the thick glass window of the UES Liberty. The ship moved slowly through space, checking planets in the Kepler 442 system. Jake had done this job for 3 years now. Most days were quiet and boring. Today felt different. Lieutenant Amy Turner sat at her desk full of buttons and screens. She watched for signals from other ships or planets. Amy was good at her job. She could hear things in space that others missed. Right now she heard something strange. "Commander Morrison," Amy called out. Her voice sounded worried. "I'm getting some big energy readings. Something is coming our way." Jake walked over to Amy's station. He looked at her screens. The numbers kept getting bigger. Whatever was coming toward them was huge. "How big?" Jake asked. "Bigger than anything we've ever seen," Amy said. "And there's more than one." The first ship came out of nowhere. 1 second, space was empty. The next second, a black ship appeared. It was long and smooth like a knife. The Liberty could fit inside this ship 10 times over. Then another ship appeared. Then another. Soon, 12 massive ships surrounded the Liberty. Jake had never seen ships like these. They looked like they were made from black glass. Strange lights moved along their sides. The Liberty's computers could not figure out what the ships were made of. "Try to talk to them," Jake told Amy. Amy pushed buttons and spoke into her microphone. "Unknown ships, this is the UES Liberty. We are peaceful explorers from Earth, please respond." Nothing happened for a long minute. Then the Liberty shook. Jake grabbed onto Amy's chair to keep from falling. A bright light filled the room. When the light went away, 3 creatures stood on the Liberty's bridge. Jake stared at the creatures. They looked like people, but not quite. They were tall and thin. Their skin was green and covered with small scales. Their eyes were yellow and had no emotion. They wore dark uniforms with strange symbols. The creature in the middle stepped forward. When it spoke, Jake could understand the words. Some kind of machine was changing the alien language into English. "I am Admiral Vextar of the Galactic Hegemony," the creature said. Its voice was cold and mean. "Your species is now property of the hegemony." Jake tried to stay calm. This was first contact with aliens. Earth had planned for this day. "Welcome, Admiral Vextar. I am Commander Morrison. We want to be friends with your people." Admiral Vextar made a sound that might have been laughing. "Friends? Your species is weak. Your technology is simple. You will serve the hegemony, or you will die." Captain Lisa Rodriguez came onto the bridge. She was Earth's best scientist for studying aliens. Lisa had spent years thinking about what to say when humans first met other species. "Admiral Vextar," Lisa said with a smile, "we can share our knowledge with each other. Earth has many things to offer: art, music, science, and culture. We can help each other." Admiral Vextar looked at Lisa like she was an insect. "Your planet has 7 of your days to surrender. You will give us half of everything you have. You will give us your strongest people to work on our slave worlds. You will obey the hegemony in all things." "We can't do that," Lisa said, "but we can work together as equals." Admiral Vextar pointed a small device at Lisa. A red beam came out of the device and hit her. Lisa screamed for 1 second. Then she was gone. Only a pile of gray dust remained where she had been standing. Jake and Amy stared at the dust that used to be Lisa. She had been alive and talking just seconds ago. Now she was nothing. "That is what happens to those who refuse the hegemony," Admiral Vextar said. "Your planet has 7 days. If you do not surrender, we will turn every human into dust." The 3 aliens disappeared in another flash of light. The Liberty was alone again, surrounded by the massive black ships. "Amy, get us out of here," Jake said. His voice shook. "Now." Amy's hands moved quickly over her controls. The Liberty turned and flew away as fast as it could. Behind them, one of the alien ships fired a weapon. The beam missed the Liberty but hit a mining station on a nearby asteroid. The station exploded into 1,000,000 pieces. The Liberty jumped into hyperspace. Jake sat in his chair and tried to think. Humans had always wondered what would happen when they met aliens. They had hoped the aliens would be friendly. They had prepared for the aliens to be dangerous, but they had never imagined aliens like Admiral Vextar. "How long until we reach Earth?" Jake asked. 2 days, Amy said. She was crying. Lisa had been her friend. Jake looked at the empty spot where Lisa had died. The gray dust was still there. Admiral Vexatar had killed her without any emotion. He had killed her just to make a point. "Amy, send a message to Earth. Tell them what happened here. Tell them the aliens are coming. Tell them we have 7 days. Amy wiped her eyes and started typing. Jake stood up and walked to the window. Space looked the same as always. Stars everywhere, cold and distant. But now Jake knew that somewhere out there, aliens were planning to destroy Earth. The Liberty flew through hyperspace toward home. In 2 days, Jake would have to tell Earth's leaders that humanity was about to face its greatest threat. An alien empire wanted to make humans into slaves. They had weapons that could turn people into dust. They had ships bigger than cities. Jake thought about Admiral Vextar's yellow eyes. There had been no kindness in those eyes, no mercy. The alien saw humans the way humans might see insects, something small and weak that could be crushed easily. But Jake knew something that Admiral Vextar did not know. Humans were not insects. Humans had been fighting and surviving for thousands of years. When someone threatened Earth, humans did not give up. They fought back. The Liberty raced toward Earth, carrying news that would change everything. Behind them, the alien fleet prepared for war. Admiral Vextar was sure that humans would surrender when they saw the hegemony's power. He was about to learn that he was very wrong. Earth had 7 days to prepare, 7 days to get ready for the fight of their lives, 7 days to show the galaxy what humans could do when someone threatened their home. The Liberty arrived at Earth 2 days later. Commander Jake Morrison had not slept during the trip home. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Lisa Rodriguez turning into dust. He saw Admiral Vextar's cold yellow eyes. He heard the aliens' threat to destroy humanity. President Catherine Mills received Jake's report in the White House Situation Room. Around the table sat the most important people on Earth. General Patrick Stone commanded all of Earth's military forces. Dr. Helen Clark led the world's best scientists. Ambassador John Lopez spoke for the United Nations. "Tell me again what the alien said," President Mills asked Jake. Jake stood straight and spoke clearly. "Admiral Vextar said Earth has 7 days to surrender. We must give them half of everything. We have. We must give them our strongest people to be slaves. If we refuse, they will destroy us all." General Stone looked at his papers. "Our satellites show 12 alien ships in the outer solar system. Each ship is 5 miles long. We've never seen anything like their weapons." "What about our military?" President Mills asked. General Stone shook his head. "Madam President, we have nuclear weapons and fighter jets. They have weapons that turn people into dust. Our best missiles would bounce off their ships like rocks." Dr. Clark spoke up. "We need to try talking to them again. Maybe we can find a peaceful solution." "They killed Captain Rodriguez just for trying to talk," Jake said. "These aliens don't want peace. They want slaves." President Mills stood up and walked to the window. Outside, she could see people walking on the streets. They had no idea that alien ships were coming to destroy their world. "There's something you all need to know," President Mills said. "Something that's been kept secret for 50 years. She pressed a button on the table. A screen came down from the ceiling. On the screen was a mountain with a big metal door built into the rock. "This is Project Phoenix," President Mills said. "We built it in case aliens ever attacked Earth." Dr. Elena Davis walked into the room. She was an old woman with gray hair and smart eyes. Most people had never heard of her, but she was one of the most important people on Earth. "I've been working on Project Phoenix since I was 20 years old," Dr. Davis said. "We always knew this day might come." "What is Project Phoenix?" General Stone asked. Dr. Davis smiled. "It's everything we need to fight back." The screen showed pictures of huge underground rooms. Scientists worked on strange machines. Weapons that looked like nothing anyone had ever seen before. "We built these bases under mountains all over the world," Dr. Davis said. "We have new kinds of weapons, ships that can fight in space. Shields to protect our cities. Jake stared at the screen. How long have you been building this? Since 1975, Dr. Davis said. We always knew that if aliens found Earth, they might not be friendly. So we got ready. President Mills looked around the room. Dr. Davis, can we win? I don't know, Dr. Davis said, but we can fight. While the leaders talked, news of the alien threat spread around the world. Every TV channel and radio station told the same story. Aliens were coming to make humans into slaves. Earth had 5 days left. Some people panicked. They tried to hide or run away, but most people got angry. Humans had never liked being told what to do by bullies. In New York City, Tony Martinez was building a new office tower. When he heard about the aliens, he stopped work. He gathered all the construction workers together. These aliens think they can push us around, Tony said. They think we're weak. Let's show them they're wrong. Tony and his workers started building walls and traps all over the city. If aliens came to New York, they would have to fight for every street. In Montana, Karen Phillips owned a big ranch. She had been in the Army for 10 years before she became a rancher. When she heard about the aliens, she opened her ranch to anyone who wanted to learn how to fight. I don't care if you're a teacher or a store clerk, Karen told the people who came to her ranch. You can learn to be a soldier. We're all soldiers now. Hundreds of people came to Karen's ranch. She taught them how to shoot guns and hide from enemies. She taught them how to fight even when they were scared. All over the world, people prepared for war. In Japan, factory workers stopped making cars and started making weapons. In Brazil, farmers hid food and supplies in the jungle. In Africa, hunters taught city people how to track and fight. Back at the secret Project Phoenix base, Dr. Davis showed Jake and Amy Turner the weapons that Earth had been building. The underground base was bigger than a city. Thousands of scientists and engineers worked day and night. This is a quantum fighter, Dr. Davis said. She pointed to a small ship that looked like a metal arrow. It can fly through solid rock. The aliens won't see it coming. How does it work? Amy asked. It changes the space around it, Dr. Davis said. The ship becomes like a ghost. It can fly through the alien ships and attack from inside. Jake looked at more weapons. There were suits that made soldiers invisible, guns that could shoot through any armor, shields that could stop any attack. Why didn't you tell us about this before? Jake asked. Because we hoped we would never need it, Dr. Davis said. But now we do. Commander Morrison and Lieutenant Turner started training with the new weapons. They learned how to fly the quantum fighters. They learned how to use the new guns and armor. The aliens think we're primitive, Dr. Davis told them. They think our technology is simple. That's good. It means they won't be ready for what we're going to do to them. President Mills spoke to the world on television. She stood behind her desk in the White House. Her face was calm, but her eyes were hard. My fellow humans, she said. Aliens have threatened our world. They want to make us slaves. They think we will give up without a fight. They are wrong. For 50 years, we have been preparing for this day. We have weapons and soldiers they don't know about. We have the courage of every human who ever refused to bow to a bully. To the aliens watching this message, I say this: you have made a mistake. You have threatened the wrong species. Humans have never been conquered. We will not start now. People all over Earth watched the president's speech. They felt afraid, but they also felt proud. Humans would not give up. They would fight. In space, Admiral Vextar watched the president's speech on his ship. He laughed at the humans' words. He had conquered 300 worlds. Every species had said they would fight. Every species had surrendered when they saw the hegemony's power. Admiral Vextar looked at his fleet of 12 massive ships. Each ship carried thousands of warriors and weapons that could destroy cities. The humans had small ships and simple weapons. This would be easy. But Admiral Vextar did not know about Project Phoenix. He did not know about the weapons hidden under Earth's mountains. He did not know that humans had been preparing for this war for 50 years. Admiral Vextar was about to learn that conquering Earth would not be easy. It would be impossible. Day 6 arrived faster than anyone wanted. Admiral Vextar's fleet moved closer to Earth. More alien ships appeared from hyperspace. Now 24 massive black ships surrounded the planet. Each ship was bigger than any city on Earth. President Catherine Mills sat in the underground command center beneath the White House. On screens around her, she could see the alien fleet getting ready to attack. General Patrick Stone stood beside her watching the enemy ships. "They're moving into attack position," General Stone said. "Our satellites show them charging their weapons." Dr. Elena Davis worked at a computer nearby. Her fingers moved quickly over the keys. "Project Phoenix is ready," she said. "All weapon systems are online. Our fighters are prepared." President Mills looked at the biggest screen. It showed Admiral Vextar's command ship. The alien leader thought he had already won this war. He was wrong. "Send the message," President Mills said. Admiral Frank Cooper stood in front of a camera. He was Earth's most famous military leader. Cooper had fought in wars on 3 continents. He had medals for bravery that filled a whole wall. But he had never fought aliens before. Cooper looked straight into the camera. He knew his words would reach Admiral Vextar and the alien emperor far away in space. "I am Admiral Frank Cooper, of Earth," he said. His voice was calm and strong. "I have a message for Admiral Vextar and Emperor Zixmoth." The message traveled through space faster than light. It reached the hegemony fleet in seconds. It also reached the alien homeworld, where Emperor Zixmoth sat on his throne. Admiral Vextar watched the human message on his ship. He expected the humans to beg for mercy. He expected them to surrender and ask for a chance to be slaves. "You have made a very big mistake," Admiral Cooper said on the screen. "You think humans are weak because our ships look simple. You think we will give up because other species did. You are wrong about both things." Admiral Vextar laughed. This human was trying to sound brave, but Vextar had heard this before. Every species tried to act tough before they surrendered. "You still have time to leave," Admiral Cooper continued. "Take your ships and go away. Forget about Earth. Find some other planet to bother. If you do this, we will forget this happened." Emperor Zixmoth watched the message from his palace on the hegemony homeworld. The Emperor was huge, even bigger than Admiral Vextar. His scales were gold instead of green. He had conquered more worlds than any ruler in galactic history. "But if you attack Earth," Admiral Cooper said, "you will learn something new. You will learn why no one has ever conquered humanity. You will learn why we have never been slaves. You will learn why Earth has never fallen to any enemy." Emperor Zixmoth stood up from his throne. His yellow eyes glowed with anger. No species had ever dared to threaten the hegemony. No primitive world had ever spoken to him this way. "You have been warned," Admiral Cooper said. "Choose wisely." The message ended. Admiral Vextar and Emperor Zixmoth stared at blank screens. For a moment, both aliens were quiet. Then Emperor Zixmoth began to laugh. His laugh was loud and cruel. "Admiral Vextar," the Emperor said through the communication system. "Did you hear that pathetic human?" "Yes, my Emperor," Vextar replied. "They think they can threaten us." "They have no idea who they are talking to," Emperor Zixmoth said. "I have destroyed civilizations older than their entire planet. I have turned stars into dust. These humans think they are special." Emperor Zixmoth walked to a huge window in his palace. Outside, he could see the hegemony homeworld. Billions of aliens lived there, all serving the Empire. Thousands of spaceships filled the sky, ready to conquer more worlds. "Send the full invasion fleet," Emperor Zixmoth ordered. "I want 2,000 ships attacking Earth. I want 500,000 warriors on the ground. I want these humans to understand what happens when someone threatens the hegemony." "Yes, my Emperor," Admiral Vextar said. "It will be done." But on Earth, President Mills and her team were not worried. Admiral Cooper's message had done exactly what they wanted it to do. It had made the aliens angry. Angry enemies made mistakes. "They're calling in more ships," General Stone reported. "Our long-range scanners show a massive fleet heading this way." "Good," Dr. Davis said. "The more ships they bring, the bigger the trap." Lieutenant Amy Turner worked at her station, watching the alien communications. "They're really mad," she said. "Emperor Zixmoth is screaming at his commanders. Commander Jake Morrison smiled. An angry enemy is a stupid enemy. Dr. Davis pressed buttons on her control panel. All around the world, hidden systems came online. Satellites that looked like space junk revealed their true purpose. They were weapons, waiting for the right moment to strike. Under the Pacific Ocean, a secret base opened its doors. Hundreds of quantum fighters rose from the ocean floor. They were invisible to alien sensors, hidden by technology the hegemony had never seen. In the Colorado mountains, massive guns pushed through fake rock covers. These weapons could shoot beams of energy across the solar system. They had been waiting 50 years for this moment. Project Phoenix is fully active, Dr. Davis announced. All systems are ready. President Mills looked around the command center. Every person there knew this was the most important day in human history. Earth was about to fight for its life against an empire that had conquered hundreds of worlds. Remember, President Mills said to everyone in the room, we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting for every species the hegemony has enslaved. We're fighting for freedom itself. The alien fleet grew larger by the hour. Ships kept arriving from hyperspace, filling the space around Earth. Admiral Vextar counted his forces. 2,000 warships, 500,000 warriors, weapons that could crack planets in half. The humans will see our fleet and surrender, Admiral Vextar told his officers. No species has ever fought against this much power. But Admiral Vextar was wrong. Humans had been preparing for this fight longer than he had been alive. Every weapon, every ship, every soldier was ready. Earth looked helpless, but it was really a trap. As the seventh day began, both sides prepared for battle. Admiral Vextar was confident his huge fleet would win easily. Emperor Zixmoth expected to add Earth to his collection of conquered worlds. Neither alien leader understood what they were really facing. They thought they were attacking a primitive planet with simple weapons. They had no idea they were about to fight the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The warning had been given. The aliens had chosen war instead of peace. Now they would learn what humans could do when someone threatened their home. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy something it had never seen before. The seventh day came with fire from the sky. Admiral Vextar ordered his fleet to attack at dawn. 2,000 alien ships moved toward Earth like a black cloud of death. Each ship was ready to destroy everything humans had ever built. Begin orbital bombardment, Admiral Vextar commanded from his flagship. Target their biggest cities first. When they see their homes burning, they will surrender. The alien ships fired their weapons. Beams of red energy shot down toward Earth like lightning. The beams were hot enough to melt steel and turn stone to glass. They aimed at New York, London, Tokyo, and every other major city on the planet. But something impossible happened. The energy beams hit invisible walls in the sky and disappeared. The cities were safe behind shields that the aliens could not see or understand. "What is happening?" Admiral Vextar shouted at his officers. "Why are their cities not destroyed?" On Earth, Dr. Elena Davis watched her screens with a smile. "Shield generators are working perfectly," she said. "The fusion reactors are providing full power." President Catherine Mills stood in the command center deep underground. Around her, hundreds of people worked at computers and communication stations. Everyone was calm and ready. "Phase 2, President Mills said into her microphone. All around Earth, things that looked like old satellites and space junk suddenly came to life. These objects had been floating in space for years, waiting for this moment. Now they revealed their true purpose. Captain Ryan Bell sat in the cockpit of his quantum fighter. His ship was invisible to alien sensors, hidden inside a fake asteroid, near the moon. Behind him, 100 more quantum fighters waited for orders. "All pilots, this is Captain Bell," he said into his radio. "Remember your training. These ships can phase through solid matter, hit them from inside where their shields can't protect them." "Copy that, Captain," came voices from the other pilots, ready to show these aliens what humans can do. Captain Bell pushed a button and his ship disappeared. It did not turn invisible. It actually stopped existing in normal space. The quantum fighter could now fly through solid rock, metal, or alien ships like they were made of air. The quantum fighters attacked from everywhere at once. They appeared inside alien ships, fired their weapons, and disappeared again. The aliens had never seen anything like it. Their shields were useless against weapons that attacked from inside their own ships. Admiral Vextar watched his fleet falling apart on his screens. Ships exploded for no reason he could understand. His weapons officers reported that something was attacking them from inside their own vessels. "How are they doing this?" Admiral Vextar demanded. "Our shields are the strongest in the galaxy." "Admiral," one of his officers said, "I think their ships can go through solid matter." Admiral Vextar stared at the officer. That was impossible. No species in the galaxy had technology like that. The hegemony had the most advanced science in known space. The ground? Alien troops landed in cities all over Earth. They expected to find frightened humans hiding in ruins. Instead, they found a trap. Sergeant Maria Santos crouched behind a broken wall in Los Angeles. Around her, 50 human soldiers waited with new weapons that Dr. Davis had given them. These guns could shoot through any armor the aliens wore. "Here, they come," Maria whispered into her radio. "Remember, we know these streets better than they do. Use that." The alien soldiers marched down the street in perfect formation. They wore thick armor and carried energy weapons. They thought human. Weapons could not hurt them. They were wrong. Maria raised her hand and dropped it. 50 human soldiers opened fire at the same time. Their weapons shot beams of blue light that went right through alien armor like it was paper. Half the alien squad fell dead in seconds. The surviving aliens tried to take cover, but they did not know the city. Human soldiers appeared from windows, rooftops, and basement doors. Every corner had become a place for humans to hide and attack. "They're everywhere," one alien soldier said into his radio. "We cannot see them until they shoot." In cities around the world, the same thing happened. Humans knew every street, every building, every place to hide. The aliens were fighting in a giant maze where their enemies could disappear and reappear anywhere. Dr. Nathan Price worked in a secret laboratory under the Sahara Desert. He was Earth's best computer scientist. For months, he had been creating something special just for this day. "Quantum virus is ready for deployment," Dr. Price said into his headset. "Send it," President Mills ordered. Dr. Price pressed a button. His virus traveled through space faster than light. It found the alien computer networks and began to spread. But this virus was different from any computer virus ever made. The quantum virus did not just destroy alien computers. It learned from them. Every alien ship it infected made the virus smarter and stronger. Soon the virus knew everything about hegemony technology. Admiral Vextar watched his command screens go dark one by one. His ship's computers stopped working. His weapons shut down. His engines died. "What is happening to our systems?" "Admiral," Vextar shouted. "Some kind of virus, Admiral," his chief engineer said. "It's in all our computers. It's spreading through the entire fleet." All around Earth, alien ships began falling from the sky. Their computers were dead. Their weapons were silent. Their engines no longer worked. 2,000 mighty warships became floating pieces of metal. Commander Jake Morrison sat in his quantum fighter, watching alien ships crash into the ocean. "Amy, are you seeing this?" Lieutenant Amy Turner's voice came through his radio from the command center. "Jake, their entire fleet is down. The virus got them all. Inside the alien ships, emergency power kept life support working, but nothing else functioned. The warriors who had conquered hundreds of worlds sat in the dark, unable to fight back. Admiral," Vextar floated in his powerless ship, staring at dead screens. His mighty fleet was destroyed. His army was trapped on a planet where every human was a soldier. His computer systems were infected with a virus he could not stop. "Admiral," his communications officer said, using a handheld radio, "Emperor Zixmoth is trying to contact us." Admiral Vextar took the radio. Emperor Zixmoth's voice came through, filled with rage and confusion. "Vextar, what is happening? I'm getting reports that your entire fleet is destroyed." "My Emperor," Admiral Vextar said quietly, The humans were ready for us. They have weapons we have never seen, technology that should not exist. That's impossible, Emperor Zixmoth screamed. They are a primitive species. Their technology is thousands of years behind ours. Admiral Vextar looked at his dead control panels. No, my Emperor. Their technology is thousands of years ahead of ours. On Earth, the battle was over in 72 hours. Every alien ship was captured or destroyed. Every alien soldier was either dead or prisoner. The mighty hegemony invasion force had been completely defeated. President Mills spoke to the world from the White House. Behind her stood Admiral Cooper, General Stone, and Dr. Davis. All of them looked tired but proud. People of Earth, President Mills said, the alien invasion has been defeated. Our planet is safe. Our people are free. Around the world, humans celebrated in the streets. They had faced the greatest threat in their history and won. They had proven that Earth could not be conquered, but the victory was bigger than just saving Earth. In space, Dr. Price's quantum virus continued to spread through hegemony computer networks. It reached alien worlds across the galaxy, shutting down their weapons and ships. The empire that had ruled space for 1,000 years was falling apart. And it was falling apart because they had made one terrible mistake. They had attacked humanity. 3 days after the battle ended, Admiral Vexitar stood in chains before President Catherine Mills. The alien leader who had once commanded 2,000 warships now wore the simple clothes of a prisoner. His yellow eyes no longer held pride or anger. They held fear. Admiral Vexitar, President Mills said from behind her desk. You came here to make humans into slaves. Now you are our prisoner. How does that feel? Admiral Vexitar said nothing. Around him stood human guards with weapons that could turn him to dust, just like he had done to Captain Rodriguez. But the humans did not kill him. They wanted information. Dr. Elena Davis sat beside President Mills with a computer tablet. We need to know about other hegemony worlds, she said. How many species are enslaved? How many want to be free? Admiral Vextar looked at the humans. They had defeated his mighty fleet in 3 days. They had weapons he could not understand. Their virus had spread through the entire hegemony computer network, reaching worlds hundreds of light years away. There are 300 enslaved worlds, Admiral Vextar said quietly. Billions of beings forced to work for the hegemony. They mine metals, grow food, and build ships for the empire. Are they happy being slaves? President Mills asked. Admiral Vextar almost laughed. No species wants to be slaves, but the hegemony is too powerful. Anyone who fights back gets destroyed. Was too powerful, Dr. Davis corrected. Your empire is falling apart. Our virus has shut down your fleets across the galaxy. President Mills stood up and walked to the window. Outside, she could see human workers fixing damage from the battle. But there was not much damage to fix. Earth's shields had protected the cities. The aliens had barely scratched the planet's surface. We're going to free those enslaved worlds, President Mills said. All of them. Admiral Vextar stared at her. You cannot rule 300 worlds. You are just one planet. We're not going to rule them, President Mills said. We're going to set them free. On the other side of the galaxy, Emperor Zixmoth sat in his dark throne room. The lights had gone out when the human virus reached his homeworld. His computers were dead. His fleet was powerless. Reports came in every hour of more worlds breaking free from hegemony control. How many ships do we still have? Emperor Zixmoth asked his generals. None, my emperor, General Kretok said. The human virus has infected every computer system we have. Our ships float dead in space. Emperor Zixmoth roared with rage. He had ruled the galaxy for 200 years. He had never lost a single war. Now a species he had never heard of was destroying his entire empire. Send messages to all worlds, Emperor Zixmoth ordered. Tell them the hegemony will rebuild. Tell them anyone who rebels will be punished. But the messages never reached their destinations. Dr. Nathan Price's virus controlled all hegemony communications now. Instead of threats from the Emperor, The enslaved worlds received a different message. Colonel Danny Wright stood in front of a camera aboard the captured Hegemony flagship. Behind him stood human soldiers and freed alien prisoners who had joined. Their cause. People of the galaxy, Colonel Wright said. I am Colonel Wright of the Terran Liberation Army. The Hegemony fleet that enslaved your worlds has been destroyed. Emperor Zixmoth no longer has the power to hurt you. We offer you freedom. We offer you the chance to rule yourselves. We do not want to be your masters. We want to be your friends. The message reached every enslaved world in Hegemony space. On the mining planet Kethvar, workers threw down their tools and cheered. On the agricultural world Nixara, farmers burned the food they were supposed to send to the Hegemony. On 100 factory worlds, slaves walked out of their workshops and declared independence. Dr. Angela Foster worked from a new office in the United Nations building. She had been chosen as Earth's first Secretary of Galactic Affairs. Her job was to help freed worlds create their own governments. We have requests from 70 worlds to join the Terran Alliance, Dr. Foster told President Mills over video call. They want our protection against Hegemony loyalists. What kind of protection do they need? President Mills asked. Most worlds have no military, Dr. Foster explained. The Hegemony took their weapons away centuries ago. Some Hegemony commanders are trying to rebuild local fleets using ships that weren't infected by our virus. President Mills thought for a moment. Send Colonel Wright and the Liberation Fleet. Help these worlds defend themselves. Colonel Wright's ships jumped from world to world, teaching freed aliens how to fight. The humans brought weapons and training, but they also brought something more important. They brought hope. On the planet Velthara, Colonel Wright met with the local leaders. They were tall, blue-skinned beings who had been slaves for 300 years. Why do you help us? Asked Velthara's new leader, a female named Silana. What do humans want in return? We want you to be free, Colonel Wright said. That's all. Silana stared at him. The Hegemony always wanted something. Tribute, slaves, resources. You want nothing. We want you to be happy and safe, Colonel Wright said. Free people make better friends than slaves. Back on Earth, Admiral Vextar watched news reports from around the galaxy. Every day, more worlds joined the Terran Alliance. Every day, the Hegemony grew weaker. Your empire is gone, Dr. Davis told him during one of their talks. Emperor Zixmoth controls maybe 10 worlds now. The rest are free. What will you do with me? Admiral Vextar asked. That depends on you, Dr. Davis said. We could keep you in prison for the rest of your life. Or you could help us. Help you do what? Help us build a better galaxy, Dr. Davis said. You know how the Hegemony military works. You could teach our people how to defend against other threats. Admiral Vextar was quiet for a long time. Finally, he spoke. There are other empires out there, worse than the Hegemony. They will come for you eventually. Then help us get ready for them, Dr. Davis said. 6 months after the invasion, Commander, Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of Earth's first dreadnought. The ship was built using captured Hegemony technology and human improvements. It was twice as powerful as any ship the aliens had ever made. Admiral Morrison, Lieutenant Amy Turner said from her station. Amy had been promoted too. We're getting reports of Imperial Syndicate ships near the border worlds. Admiral Morrison looked at the star map. The Imperial Syndicate was another alien empire, even more violent than the Hegemony. They had been watching humanity's rapid expansion with growing concern. Are they threatening our allies? Morrison asked. Not yet, Amy said, but they're building up forces. Morrison smiled. Let them come. Humanity had spent 50 years preparing for the Hegemony. Now they had alien technology and freed worlds helping them. Any empire that threatened the Terran Alliance would learn the same lesson as Admiral Vextar. In the ship's conference room, Admiral Vextar worked with human officers, planning defenses for the outer worlds. The alien who had once tried to enslave humanity now helped protect human allies. Why did you decide to help us? Morrison asked him one day. Admiral Vextar looked out at the stars. Because I learned something important. There are two kinds of species in this galaxy: those who have fought humans and those who are about to. I decided to be on the winning side. The galaxy was changing. The age of empires built on slavery and conquest was ending. In its place rose something new, an alliance built on freedom and friendship, protected by the most dangerous warriors the galaxy had ever seen. Humanity had not just survived their first contact with hostile aliens, they had become the guardians of galactic freedom, and any empire that threatened that freedom would face the full might of Earth and her allies. The stars belonged to the free now, and humans would make sure it stayed that way.